Hey y'all, it's time for a Hello Autumn hop because it is almost autumn in the US over here. I'm also combining today's hop with my new series called Spin a Sketch, where I take a sketch and I put my own spin on it. So today I have this crepe paper that I've had for a while, and you can see the sketch right there on the right. It's from Studio Calico. I used up my clear gesso I was showing you there by coating the middle of this page with it. So my spin on the sketch is that I'm going to create those circles in the middle with stamping these leaves that you see here with distress oxides, and then kind of creating a watercolor with them. It's a technique I use a lot, but I feel like it's not necessarily something that anyone would think to do with that sketch. They would think to put paper dots or sequins or something on there. That would be a fun one too. So anyway, that was my spin on the sketch. So I'm just stamping each of these stamps. I think I pulled out like 5 different leaves from like a few different stamp sets, and 4 different distress oxide colors that kind of match the background on this pattern paper that I'm stamping on. And I'm just going to stamp them in a square in the middle of the page like the sketch suggested. And I won't make you watch me stamp every single one of them. I'll speed it up a little bit. So this is a fun little hop that Miranda Weber is hosting, and I'll link the participants down below, so make sure to go and give them all some love. I'll also post my affiliate links down below if you would like to go shopping. I have affiliate links at a cherry on top, and you can find so many good things there. I'll also use some finishing touches from Not Just for Boys Kit Club. I'll post that down below. And I will use adhesive from Spiggle Mom Scraps, so I'll post that link down as well. So coming along nicely, I'm just kind of rotating the stamps and putting them in different directions and making sure to stamp the different patterns and different colors. And I'm really liking how that looks, but don't fall too much in love with it because a lot of it will be kind of erased when we turn it into watercolors, and you'll see what I mean here in a few minutes. But I can't wait to hop along today and see everybody's fun autumn inspiration. Is my favorite time of the year, and of course it's still basically summer here, but we're hoping if we scrap it will come. And it has turned a little cooler here, so we're enjoying that lately. So I'm going to pop the sketch back up so I can remind you what it looks like. And I'm liking it. It's similar, right? And I'm going to put my 2 little photos there. I have these 2 fall photos. I looked back at my scrapbook from last year, and I didn't scrapbook almost hardly any fall photos. So I have a lot to do this year, which I'm excited about. Because I usually do scrap kind of the year behind, but I'm excited to be able to use some of the new cute fall lines this year. So I spritzed it all with water. You can see it's kind of getting like a rained on effect, as Missy would say. Now I'm just using my paintbrush to kind of manipulate the color, rub out some of the stamping so it looks just a little faded. You can see a little bit, but not all of it, and kind of blend some of those colors together. Now, since they're all kind of in the same autumnal color family, blending them together and letting the colors run together is not going to create mud. Well, except for I do have brown on there, but well, I guess that wasn't a very good point that I made, huh? No, but I like the way that they all combine together. So it's mostly dry, and I'm showing you here how the colors combined, and I'm really happy with the watercolor effect that it created. So there's where the photos will go. And I am going to use this like texture paste kind of gel medium, and it had like, it's called Vintage, so it has like a brown tinge to it, and I was really hoping to get some dimension. I don't know that it did a lot, but I think it added a little to the grunge and the splatter here. So I'm just watering it down and splattering it just as I would any other watercolor. It doesn't really do a lot, but that's okay. And then I also I'm going to use this mica spray by Tim Holtz. I think it's the bronze one. And I just use this sprayer from inside to create drops because it gives like these nice big drops, and it really gives a nice shimmer shine to the page. So there you can see up close, and you can see that gel medium. It kind of gives like a shiny texture and a little bit raised off the page. So it worked. So now I'm going to build the photo element, and so it's just one like big old cluster here in the bottom right of the page. And so I have these two photos of my kids. They're at this restaurant near Nashville called Cock of the Walk, and they're sitting in a giant rocking chair, and they're wearing like some cute fall sweaters. We had gone there for some birthday dinners. So my friend Kira recently sent me like a bunch of her stash, and so I just kind of went through the little envelopes that she sent me because there was a lot of fun like fallish items, and so I pulled out some of those, and that's what I'm using here. But I decided to cut into this paper. I know I hadn't cut into it before, but it was really good to back the papers, and you know what, I've had it for years and years and years, so I'm not going to be worried about cutting into like a whole 12 by 12 just to back a couple of 3x4s because let's face it, I have a lot of papers. So, you know, we're using it. I'm really trying to stop hoarding so much. So, I liked the brown and I liked the polka dots. I thought it would be nice contrast in that cluster against the paper. So now I've popped the sketch back up so you can see where I'm working with it, how I'm working with it, and I'm roughing up the edges really well with this paper. It's crepe paper and it's super thick, and so it will take a lot of beating, right? So I stick those two photos together and I stick them on the back behind with that little card. And so now I'm looking at the stripe elements at the bottom of the photos, and I'm kind of going through a few different things in the stash, and I even go ahead and I like cut that paper, but I end up changing my mind. I love that little mushroom there that came in like the set of ephemera that she sent me, so I will definitely be using that. I decided I like the red color and it mimics some of the red in the rest of the page, so I'm going to use this red paper with leaves on it as another contrasting paper behind the photo cluster. And I'm going to do the same treatment on the edges of that. Stick that down there. I'm liking the way that that's giving a pop. And now I'm going to stick some foam down just because I want the photo cluster to pop up a little bit off of the page. I like to have that dimension. Yeah, loving that. I find that there's just a little bit more that I need to pop up there, so I use my Big Mama foam roll. That's from Spiegel Mom Scraps. But personally, I've been using the foam dots a lot lately because there's nice little tabbies you can use to take them off, and I really recommend that from the store. So I think I stuck it down. No, I'm about to stick it down. So I'm pulling the backing off and I'm sticking it down, and now I'm going to start embellishing around that cluster. I'm going to stick a couple of those little die cut leaves up there at the top. And I decided to just snip off the paper clip part of that little mushroom. I don't need a paper clip. I just want the little mushroom. So make it work for you, you know, like do what you got to do to make the ephemera work for you. Tuck those behind the little card. And so it's popped up on foam, right? So I can tuck things behind it and it gives a really nice dimensional look. So here I go cutting that Amy Tangerine little brown paper, and I super love it. But I find a better option here in a minute, and so I don't end up using that strip, even though I already like seriously distress it and everything. That's okay. So I end up pulling out the sticker sheet from the Cartabella line, and I just love banners. I'm always like a sucker for these kind of banners. I recently got a Heidi Swap stamp set that had them. I just love them, so I decided to use that as the element across the bottom of the little strips of paper. So I am using foam tape to pop up the bits that are hanging off of the photo so that they don't get smushed down. And I pop the sketch back up there so you can see there's a little title above the photo, so I stick that sticker that says Sweet on Fall above the photos as my title. And what else do I do here? Let's see. Not much else that needs to be done. I did grab a little bit of that brown flower paper because I do really love it, and I thought it helped bring like a brighter edge, like a more modern look to the page. So I just use it as a little like banner there because on the sketch it had a little banner there, like a little tag banner. So I tuck another little leaf right there, and I think we're about done. I'm just going to grab the finishing touches from the Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and I'm sticking some stickers down there, like some word stickers, yeah. But the Not Just for Boy Kit Club has these like cute little flat back pearls. And I have them in this like mustard yellow color. So I'm going to do 3 different sizes of them and kind of sprinkle them around the photo cluster here. And I actually went ahead and waved at you with my goofy smile that I do when I wave goodbye, even though you can't see my face. And then I decided, you know what, the page needs a little something at the top to help balance it, because I have all this heavy cluster down here at the bottom right, and I really wanted to balance it out. So I decided to add a little bit more of that red paper that I used in the photo cluster. So I just do one of my favorite techniques. Of course, I learned this from Missy Wooden, but I just like pull a little bit off of the paper and I rough up the edges, and then I just back it with that red pattern paper so that it just peeks out a little bit from the top and provides some interest, and it helps just balance out the whole page between the top and that heavy cluster there at the bottom, and it has that repeating element of the red paper with the leaves on it. I know, look at that. I cut into a cut apart sheet, and I am a person who does pocket pages, so I know that that was like a no-no, but I just really loved that kind of like subtle-ish background paper to do mixed media on. So again, trying not to hoard. How many millions of pocket cards do I have? So I'm not gonna like think too hard about how I used an entire sheet of cut aparts just for the B-side. So I'm just roughing up the edges, and I'm gonna look for something to kind of tuck up in there for a little bit of embellishment, and then we'll be done. I find a sticker and it says sweater weather, which I love because both of the boys are wearing sweaters in the photo. And I don't get them to wear sweaters much. He runs hot. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hop along and give love to everybody. There's the sketch. It was originally from Studio Calico, and there's my spin on the sketch. I hope you like this series that I'm starting. Let me know what you think about that down below too, and hop along with the Hello Autumn Hop. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye y'all.